Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be using cream colored yarn, so I've moved away my blanket that I usually have underneath. That's from my book, Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook. I've decided that one of the Summer of Baby projects should be a nostalgic white creamy Aran blanket. So I have a worsted weight acrylic off-white ecru colored yarn and a size I hook. And I'm going to be doing this stitch pattern. I'd like to plug in a photo. Let's get started. This is going to be for one of the babies, the Summer of Babies, and crochet along with me. And I'll put up the pattern for sale for just like $2. But you can learn the whole pattern here, but I'll sell the pattern. It won't have any ads or anything crazy in it, but you can figure the whole thing out just by watching the video as well. But if you want a printed version, I'll have it available for you. Let's place a slip knot on the hook, and this stitch pattern calls for a multiple of 9 chains and then 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just doing the swatch today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let's do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dropped it. 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3. So I always do, or I try to always do a swatch before I begin the complete project, because I want to see how big it's going to be. So this swatch is, gosh, probably 10 inches. And when I do this swatch, then I'll be able to do the math and figure out exactly how big I want the blanket and how many stitches I need across. So I had a multiple 3 repeats here for 10 inches. So if I wanted a blanket that's 30 inches wide, then I would do this 3 times to get to that approximately. Okay, and with a baby blanket, your gauge is not critical. Now, did I do the extra 3? Since I got busy talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to double crochet and double crochet in the next chain as well. The back loop is the one I like to use because it leaves a pretty under edge for later. So double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then also the next chain. Now I'm going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and I will double crochet in each of the next 7. So when you chain 2, skip 2, that's 2 of the stitches in the 9, and then 7 double crochets, so the 2 skipped ones plus the 7 worked ones equal a multiple of 9. It's the repeat. That section is what we are going to repeat. And if you need to see how a double crochet is made, you can see it on my micro lessons playlist. Oh, that was my cat trying to jump up on this very high table. Are you all right, buddy? Oh, poor guy. I moved the table much higher, and so he tried to get up here, but it was too high for him. Are you all right? Oh, poor Theo. Okay, I will put him down. Whew. I'm glad he's not hurt. Okay, where were we? So I'm going to push this back so you can see the light colored yarn on the darker wood surface. There's 6, 7. Then I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Chain 2, skip 2. That's going to be our rhythm for this pattern. And then we will double crochet 7. You get it. 7 and 2 make 9. It's a 9 stitch repeat. So we know that this is going to be the rhythm for this pattern. Do you have a special child or baby, or maybe you could make this into a lap blanket for a person who needs a little warmth? Do you have a baby in mind for your blanket, or are you just making it maybe to donate for a baby who might be in need? 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and there should be 5 left because we offset it just a little bit. 2, 3. We are going to, this is going to be a row pattern, and the spaces are going to jog. So it's going to be on the bias. It's going to be so cute. You're really going to love it. So we are going to 1, 2, 3 and turn. Do you need to do that again slowly? So after the last stitch, we're going to 1, 2, 3 and turn. Okay. Now we will skip the first double crochet and double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. So we're skipping this first one here. We are going to double crochet here. So this chain 3 counted as the first one. That's why we're skipping underneath it, because we've already done it with the post there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the space, 6 in the space. Okay, so we're using those, counting those chains as stitches and making sure to place a double crochet in each of the spaces, in the space, but 2 of them in there because there were 2 chains. So we had the turning chain, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when it says double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, it includes the chains. Then we will chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and 7 stitches, 1 in each of the next 7 stitches, including the chains. 3, 4. Oop, and I have a little knot in my yarn. Let's pull that apart. Have you gotten good at detangling knots? There we go. I have 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I put it in the chain 2 space, and I'll put another one in the chain 2 space. You could choose to be very precise, and I'm going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and place them in the chains instead of just the space. But I think that's harder and slower to do, and it doesn't really matter. So you can, that is my cat stealing some yarn and dragging it into the closet. So I could, here's 5, I could choose to put 1 in this chain and 1 in the next chain, and that would make our 7, or I could just put 2 in the space. And by the space, I mean through the big hole and around that whole piece of fabric there, or we could put it in the actual stitch if you wanted. So it's negligible, the look of it. It's up to you how you want to do it, but however you do it, you should be consistent. And then as we get to the end, we will chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet in that last stitch. So that turning chain 3 is the last stitch. We don't want to accidentally forget it. So we're skipping the 2 double crochets and double crochet in the top chain of the beginning chain 3. And this is what that end of row 2 looks like. Chain 1, 2, 3, and skip the first double crochet because we already made it. Double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. So we are placing 2, 1, 2 in that first chain 2 space. We can either put them in the chains or just 2 in the space, and that counts as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the first one does not count as a stitch in this instance. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. I am right on track. So we're going to chain 2, skip 2, which includes these last 2 double crochets, and place 2 in the space. That counts for 2 of the 7. And then I need 5 more, 1 in each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is such a rhythmic and meditative pattern. You could totally use this for a prayer shawl or a meditation piece, or pray for the baby while you're making it if you want. You totally can do this. So that's what it looks like so far. We're on row 3. We're going to chain 2, skip 2, and then working in that space because those are the next 2 available stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 3, or the turning chain 3. So here is where we are at the end of row 3. So there's just a chain 1 and a skip 1 because that's how it ends up. Do you see how these negative spaces are starting to be on the bias? That's the look we're going for, and that's the look that we will continue. And these diagonals will go all the way across the blanket, but we're working on the swatch today. Let's do row 4, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Skip this first double crochet in the next stitch, which happens to be a chain, which is fine. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and double crochet in each of the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 2, skip 2. At the end of this row, I will lay it down and you will have pretty much the understanding of where we need to be. I'm going to continue working on this swatch until I have it be about 10 inches square. I'm going to do the math to figure out exactly how many stitches I want to start with, and I'm going to write it all down for you so that we can make this blanket together. This is the Summer of Babies 2020, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think this will make an excellent baptism or christening type blanket. I think it would be perfect for that event in our little grand niece's life. So we're at the bottom of row 4. And with 4, we chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and double crochet in the last one. So the multiples or the repeats on either end of the rows are slightly different because we have to have an extra stitch to be on the border, and we're continuing to make these bias. This is the wrong side, this is the right side. We're continuing to make these negative space bias all the way across. Now we've done 4 rows. It's actually like an 18-row repeat. We're just continuing to keep on going, but I wanted to give you an introduction to what we are going to be doing with the Summer of Babies, the nostalgic blanket. So if you want to gather up through your stash, find a solid color, and I'm going to use this nostalgic ecru white. If you want to start gathering supplies, do that, because we're going to make this blanket as one of the blankets for the Summer of Babies. So gather up your supplies. I'm going to do the math, find out exactly how many stitches we're going to need, how much yarn we're going to need exactly, and get back to you. And so let's do this thing.